Hello guys, welcome again to another session of Let's Chat with Denisha. Stay tuned.
I'm going to talk about a topic that really makes you look pale, like this feature. I want to talk about toxic relationships. How many of us have been in toxic relationships and don't even know we are in toxic relationships? There are so many toxic people around us who we would have invited in our lives, who are slowly destroying us. And some of us find it so challenging to get rid of them. What if this toxic relationship is benefiting you in one area, but you realize that in other areas, it's really destroying you? You have even lost yourself in this relationship or these relationships.
Losing your identity in a relationship is one of the worst things ever.
When I talk about toxic relationship, I'm not just talking about romantic relationship, but platonic relationships. How do you identify a toxic relationship? It is a tough topic to talk about, but we have to deal with some tough issues. So you want us to chat some more about it? Let us chat, all right? Who is a toxic person? I got my notes, so I'm gonna use it, okay? Who is a toxic person? There are different signs and so many signs of persons who are toxic. When you identify these toxic persons, then you'll be able to eliminate them out of your lives. Is the elimination process an easy one? No, it is not, especially if you would have invested a whole lot in these relationships. It's never easy. But first, let us take it step by step. Let us first identify if the relationship you are in is a toxic one, and then we will move from there, okay? We are here. There are behavioral signs of toxic persons. These persons are persons who always bring you down. They find some way or somehow to bring you down.
Do you have anyone in your circle who destructively criticize others?
They think they are better than you. They always compare themselves with you and even with others. These you will call the narcissistic persons. It is all about them. They are the only one on the stage and the spotlight is always on them. And if the spotlight is not on them, they are going to find ways for the spotlight to be on them. Do you know of anyone like that? Where it is all about them. Yeah, you have to be careful of these persons in your life. So we have the narcissist. The other sign of a toxic person is passive aggression. What is passive aggression? The opposite of passive aggression is assertiveness. So anyone you see who is not assertive, then you have to look out for passive aggression. These persons are angry, they are upset, and you will not necessarily know that they are because they don't outrightly express those types of emotion. Instead of expressing the anger, and instead of expressing the frustration and all of those, you realize that they will, one, refuse to discuss the issue, or they will procrastinate in doing whatever they are asked to do, with the intention of hurting the person who caused them to be experiencing that form of emotion. They deny that they are angry. So you will say to them, are you angry because I said that I didn't like the way how you speak to me or you spoke to her? Then the person will say, oh, no, I'm not angry. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm okay. but then you realize that their behavior, their attitude would have changed. So you see withdrawal happening after you speak to them. You will realize that they are not openly communicating with you anymore. Stuff like that. That is what you will describe as passive aggression. I know that there are other adjectives you can use to describe a passive aggressive person. Passive aggressors, you have to be careful of them, because although they are not outwardly expressing their aggression or their emotions, they are actually expressing it, and it can destroy the relationship. So instead of dealing with the problem, you don't deal with the issue, and the issue, will reoccur. So you have to be careful of that.
For any relationship to work, you cannot ignore the issues.
I realized that when I spoke to you about so and so, I see that you are not speaking as though you would normally speak, and you are not doing what you were supposed to do, and you didn't do this or you didn't do that. So you point out their actions, and then if they still refuse not to talk about it, which in most cases they still don't want to talk about it, you just give them the space. But if the person continues like that, and if it is worth the relationship, in staying in a relationship with someone like that, because in relationships you have to give and take. Sorry if I'm speaking too fast. Let me slow down. So if you are in a relationship with a passive aggressor, if it is not taking too much of your emotions or draining you too much, in relationships you have to give and take. I say find ways in which you can work around it, because persons are different, and there are reasons why this person would have become a passive aggressor. It can be how they were brought up. Why am I talking about passive aggression? I should be talking about toxic relationships. Anyways, so the passive aggressor, as I said, there are many reasons why this person would have become that way. Maybe they were grown in an environment where aggression was not accepted. So if they became angry, they were told they would be scolded, or they were told not to be angry, in many different ways. And so they grew up suppressing that and dealing with their anger in a passive way. It can be out of experiences. After a while, expressing their anger, they would have seen the damage that it would have caused. So they would change that type of behavioral pattern and become a passive aggressor. So there are many reasons why people become passive aggressive. Okay, so let's get back. Toxic relationships. So the narcissists, be careful of them. They are toxic persons, and they will find ways for you not to get ahead of them. You cannot be in relationships with persons like those. Close relationships with persons like those. They have to learn to deal with themselves. But if you can deal with a narcissist, fine, it's up to you. But what if you're saying, Auntie Denisha, all right, I love this person. Talking about romantic relationship, maybe. I love this person, Auntie. The person, when I'm in any spot, I can always call on this person, and the person will be able to bail me out. But we are constantly fighting. The person is, I don't know. It's like, yeah, there's a good side to this person, but after talking to the person, it just drains me all the time. It's just draining me all the time emotionally, and I have to be defending myself. And, I'm just not happy when our relationship is like this, but I can call on this person at any time. Or, Auntie, the person is financially taking care of me. And so I can overlook, the abuse that I'm getting, the emotional abuse that I'm getting, and the constant blaming. I can live with that. Go ahead. But what you are telling me are characteristics of a toxic person. The narcissist, who puts you down all the time. The passive aggressor, who withdraws, who doesn't openly communicate, and who denies that he or she is angry or upset. Person who is constantly blaming you, wanting you to feel guilty, never, ever, ever can say, okay, then it's my fault, or I see where I contribute to this issue or problems. 4, this person, hold on, let me find it. Emotional blackmail.
When the person uses our weaknesses to get us to do what they want to
Person
do.
is manipulative. They will tell you whatever it is just to let you do what they want you to do. There are many times you will... Have you ever spoken to somebody and after speaking to them like for 2-3 minutes, you feel so emotionally drained? And like constantly, it is always like that. It can even be your own family members, because you do have toxic family members as well. How do you get out of relationships like these? It's never too easy, but the first place to start is identifying toxic persons. Thank you again for chatting with me. Remember that you can send your questions, your concerns to denishajarrett42@gmail.com. Okay? And leave your comments below, and remember to subscribe. Remember to subscribe. It's always good chatting with you. So see you again next time. And remember, identify these toxic relationships. If you want to become a better person, you have to have persons around you who will be able to elevate you and motivate you to a better you, to accomplish your goals, and to be a better version of you. Have those positive persons around you, and do not compromise your happiness for persons to be on the stage. Do not compromise your happiness for other persons to get ahead of you. Okay? See you next time. See you. Stop.